Hi there. Today I would like to share 5 psychological tricks that will blow your mind. As I immerse myself in the realm of psychology by exploring numerous books, I've gained a growing understanding of its ability to shape individuals' thoughts and actions. It's truly captivating, yet somewhat unsettling, to recognize how readily people can be influenced. In the fascinating realm of psychology, we uncover the intriguing power it wields over human minds. These psychological tricks can sway people's beliefs and actions in ways they might not consciously choose. Join us on a journey through this captivating domain, where we delve into the mysterious forces that shape our thoughts and behaviors. Let's look at some experiments that will blow your mind to realize the power of psychology. 1. The art of giving. In psychology, this is called the principle of reciprocity. In Robert Cialdini's book, Science of Persuasion, a psychological experiment was conducted where a very attractive man was sent to approach random women in a shopping mall and ask for their phone numbers for a date. Naturally, giving your number to a stranger is risky, and he received plenty of rejections. However, he received more positive responses when he approached women near a flower shop. This seemingly unrelated detail had a subconscious impact on their behavior, making them more likely to give out their numbers. When questioned afterward, these participants insisted that the flower shop had nothing to do with their decision. In another experiment, a man approached women on the street to ask for a date. The researchers varied the object he was holding when he approached them. Surprisingly, one particular object, a guitar case, significantly increased the number of positive responses. Again, the power of subtle cues influencing our decisions became evident. The Coca-Cola experiment conducted in 1971 by Dennis Reagan is among the most famous experiments on the art of giving. The Coca-Cola experiment, conceived by Dennis Reagan, involved a group of participants, half of whom were given a Coke by an administrator, while the other half received nothing. Later, the administrator presented an offer: "I have these raffle tickets for sale at 25 cents each. Would you like to buy some?" Additionally, at the conclusion of the experiment, participants were asked whether they liked the administrator or not. The intriguing discovery was that irrespective of whether participants had a favorable opinion of the administrator, those who had been handed a Coke bought twice as many raffle tickets compared to those who hadn't received a Coke. This finding underscored the concept of reciprocity, wherein the act of receiving a gift or favor creates a compelling urge to reciprocate. This is how savvy marketers and organizations use the principle of reciprocity to generate revenue. They offer small freebies or gifts, knowing that people tend to spend more in return. Utilizing the principle of reciprocity effectively involves more than mere gestures. It hinges on thoughtful and unanticipated acts of kindness. Taking the initiative to extend help, deliver genuine value, or offer assistance without expectation sets the stage for a remarkable chain reaction. People are inherently inclined to reciprocate such goodwill, fostering a sense of mutual exchange. By being the first to sow these seeds of generosity, you trigger a ripple effect where others willingly follow suit, ultimately strengthening connections and fostering a spirit of cooperation and reciprocity. In the world of persuasion, it's the sincere and unexpected gestures that yield the most profound results. 2. The scarcity principle. Our next psychological trick, the scarcity principle, delves into our instinctual desire for what's challenging to obtain. This phenomenon revolves around the well-known fear of missing out, or FOMO. Think about those limited-time offers strategically placed throughout your shopping experiences. They cleverly exploit our fear of losing out on something valuable, prompting us to act swiftly. But why does this work so effectively? To wield the scarcity principle to your advantage, it's vital to comprehend that it taps into our intrinsic longing for what's exceptional and elusive. By making your product, service, or idea exclusive, rare, or temporarily accessible, you ignite the FOMO factor. When something becomes scarce, it becomes more desirable. It's like a magnet pulling people in, driven by the idea that they might miss out on an extraordinary opportunity. So, in practical terms, consider crafting your offerings with a touch of exclusivity, limiting their availability, or attaching a deadline. By doing so, you not only capture attention but also spark that irresistible urge in others to seize what might slip through their fingers. It's the art of using scarcity as a psychological trigger, driving people to act on their fear of missing out, and ultimately, making your proposition all the more enticing. One well-known experiment that illustrates the scarcity principle is the cookie jar experiment, conducted by psychologist Stephen Wurtzel. In this experiment, participants were presented with two identical cookie jars, each containing the same number of cookies. However, one jar was placed in a condition of scarcity, while the other was in an abundance condition. In the scarcity condition, participants were told that there were only a few cookies left in the jar, and they were highly sought after. In the abundance condition, participants were informed that there were plenty of cookies, and they were not scarce at all. The participants were then asked to rate the desirability and quality of the cookies from each jar. The results of the experiment demonstrated a clear preference for the cookies from the scarce jar. Participants in the scarcity condition rated the cookies as more desirable and of higher quality compared to those in the abundance condition. This shows how the mere perception of scarcity can significantly influence people's preferences and evaluations, highlighting the power of the scarcity principle in shaping our choices and decisions. 3. The authority effect. The authority effect. Our third psychological trick is the authority effect. The authority effect is a psychological principle that highlights our inclination to follow and trust credible, knowledgeable experts or figures of authority. This phenomenon is deeply ingrained in human behavior. When someone with expertise or a recognized position of authority offers guidance or recommendations, we are more likely to heed their advice and make decisions based on their input. Think about a scenario where a doctor prescribes a specific treatment for a medical condition. Patients are more inclined to follow the doctor's recommendations because they perceive the doctor as an authority in the field of medicine. Similarly, in various aspects of life, we tend to rely on authorities or experts for guidance, whether it's in education, law, technology, or any other domain. To effectively leverage the authority effect, individuals and professionals should emphasize their expertise and credentials. Sharing your knowledge, showcasing relevant qualifications, and demonstrating competence in your field can enhance your perceived authority. When people perceive you as an authority figure, they are more likely to trust your judgment and follow your recommendations. In summary, the authority effect underscores the significant influence that experts and figures of authority have on our decision-making processes. By establishing and promoting your expertise and credibility, you can harness this psychological principle to gain trust and persuade others effectively. One well-known experiment that exemplifies the authority effect is the Milgram experiment, conducted by psychologist Stanley Milgram. This study aimed to understand how individuals would respond to authority figures, even when asked to perform actions that went against their moral values. In the experiment, participants were instructed to administer increasingly severe electric shocks to another person, who was actually an actor pretending to be a victim, whenever they answered questions incorrectly. An authority figure in a lab coat, portraying a scientist, instructed participants to continue delivering the shocks, even as the actor displayed signs of distress and pain. The results were shocking, pun intended. Despite their discomfort and moral qualms, a significant portion of the participants continued to administer electric shocks when urged to do so by the authority figure. This experiment demonstrated the extent to which individuals are willing to follow the instructions of someone they perceive as an authority, even if it involves causing harm to others. The Milgram experiment highlights the powerful influence of authority figures on human behavior and decision-making, revealing our inclination to comply with their directives, even when those directives conflict with our ethical principles. 4. The consistency principle. Our fourth psychological trick is the consistency principle. The consistency principle is deeply rooted in human psychology, emphasizing our innate desire to align our present actions with our past commitments and beliefs. It's like an internal compass that keeps us on a path of self-identity and integrity. Imagine you sign a petition supporting a cause you care about or publicly express your intention to adopt more eco-friendly practices. Once you've made these commitments, you're more likely to follow through on larger, related actions. This phenomenon occurs because we experience cognitive dissonance when our behavior contradicts our commitments. To resolve this discomfort, we strive for consistency by aligning our actions with our prior statements or commitments. As individuals, we can use the consistency principle to influence others positively. Encouraging them to make voluntary, public commitments, preferably in writing, can significantly impact their future behavior. It creates a sense of accountability and reinforces their commitment, making them more likely to act in accordance with their stated intentions. The power of consistency extends beyond personal actions. It plays a crucial role in marketing, persuasion, and behavior change strategies. Recognizing this principle allows us to navigate the human psyche more effectively, fostering positive change and alignment with our goals and values. One of the most famous experiments illustrating the consistency principle is the Stanford Prison Experiment, conducted by psychologist Philip Zimbardo. While the primary focus of this study was the impact of authority, it also showcased the powerful influence of consistency. Zimbardo randomly assigned college students to play the roles of either prisoners or guards in a simulated prison environment. Despite their initial understanding that it was just an experiment, the participants quickly internalized their roles. Those assigned as guards started displaying abusive behaviors, while the prisoners became submissive. The key aspect related to the consistency principle was that once these roles were assumed, the participants began acting consistently with their assigned roles. Guards, initially normal college students, continued to escalate their mistreatment of prisoners, driven by the need to be consistent with their roles. Prisoners, too, behaved submissively, even enduring mistreatment, to align with their prisoner identities. This experiment demonstrated that people tend to remain consistent with their roles and commitments, even when they conflict with their personal values. It sheds light on how situational factors and external pressures can lead individuals to engage in behaviors they might never consider in their everyday lives. The Stanford Prison Experiment serves as a stark reminder of the profound impact the consistency principle can have on human behavior. 5. The liking principle. Our fifth and final psychological trick is the liking principle. The liking principle underscores the fundamental truth that people are more inclined to say yes to individuals they like. It's a simple but powerful aspect of human psychology. When we genuinely like someone, whether due to shared interests, common backgrounds, or simply finding them pleasant, we are more receptive to their influence. To apply the liking principle effectively, it's essential to build rapport and connect with others. This involves actively seeking common ground and demonstrating an interest in their perspectives. When we identify shared interests or experiences, it creates a sense of unity, making the other person more inclined to cooperate and be persuaded. Offering sincere compliments is another facet of the liking principle. When we appreciate someone's qualities or achievements, expressing this admiration can foster a positive connection. However, these compliments must be genuine. Insincerity is quickly detected and can be counterproductive. Collaboration toward mutual objectives is the third pillar of the liking principle. When people work together toward common goals, it reinforces the sense of unity and shared purpose, further enhancing likability and cooperation. In essence, the liking principle highlights the importance of forging positive relationships and connections with others as a persuasive tool. By genuinely connecting, finding common ground, offering authentic compliments, and collaborating on shared objectives, individuals can harness the power of likability to enhance their ability to influence and persuade others. One of the famous experiments that demonstrates the liking principle is the lost letter technique, conducted by social psychologist Stanley Milgram. In this experiment, researchers lost, stamped, and addressed letters in public places to see how likely people were to return them to their rightful owners. The key aspect related to the liking principle was that some of the letters were placed in sealed envelopes, while others were left unsealed. The unsealed letters allowed the researchers to see the content, which included notes from fictitious individuals expressing either positive or negative opinions about certain organizations or political groups. These opinions were designed to align with or contradict the beliefs of the person who found the letter. What the experiment found was that people were more likely to mail the unsealed letters if the expressed opinions in those letters aligned with their own beliefs. This demonstrates the power of liking and similarity in influencing behavior. People were more inclined to help those whose opinions they liked or agreed with, showcasing the impact of interpersonal liking on actions. While this experiment may not be as famous as some others, it provides valuable insights into how the liking principle operates in real-life situations. If you liked this video, please like, share, comment and subscribe.